Hi there, I'm Andy and welcome to my channel about crypto. First of all, sorry for the slightly clickbaity title, but it's not just to play the YouTube's algorithm. Essentially, I really think that if someone invests wisely over the next weeks and months, they have opportunity to make absolutely life-changing amounts of money within the next 2 to 3 years. Maybe a little bit longer, but certainly within the next few years, basically during the next crypto bull run. And of course, this is against what mass media is saying at the moment, because if you look at any recent articles or news or anything like that and look for any information about crypto, well, essentially it's all doom and gloom. Either the announcement that crypto is dead or how much it crashed from the all-time high, and essentially it's all just going down. And to be honest, if we look at the chart, well, quite clearly since November last year, we've been in a very clear downtrend. But at the same time, we have to acknowledge that periods like this, when we're already massively down, these are the best times to actually invest in crypto or any other asset. Of course, we don't know where the bottom is. There's a pretty good chance that Bitcoin may still drop another, I don't know, maybe $5,000, maybe $10,000. I would be very surprised if that happens. But of course, it can still dip quite a bit. But at the same time, if you're not interested in a short-term price action, but you are buying to hold it for the next 3 to 5 years at least, well, there's pretty good chance that within those 3 to 5 years, I don't want to say it's guaranteed because of course nothing is guaranteed in investing, but it's extremely likely that the value of Bitcoin in those 3 to 5 years will be probably at least around its previous all-time high, or potentially much higher than that. Personally, I would expect it to be much higher than that. The thing is, of course, that if we just follow media and what majority of people are saying, people tend to get interested when an asset, price of an asset is going up, like in this period here towards end of 2020 and early 2021, and then spring of 2021, or then around October last year as well. While in reality, these are great opportunities to sell. And you should be looking to buy an asset when you see something like this, a massive crash and then an accumulation phase. And then, well, essentially you are preparing, buying here to sell somewhere around here. Or if we look at a slightly longer time frame, that was Bitcoin's peak in 2017. These are the peaks in early 2021. And then, of course, the actual peak was a little bit later than that. So basically, you had all this period here from early 2018 all the way up to late 2020 to keep accumulating Bitcoin. But of course, at this time, well, it didn't look or feel great to invest in it. And I know about it firsthand because I bought Bitcoin somewhere in early 2017. But I didn't sell it here at the top. I held it throughout all this big crash, and it did suck. But at the same time, well, you just have to acknowledge that these are the best buying opportunities because essentially what you are doing is preparing for this. And I expect that what we are seeing now is essentially beginning of this loading phase, which will probably last another, I would expect at least 6 to 12 months, maybe even a bit longer. And I'll explain why I think this in a minute. So basically we are seeing a crash similar to the crash we saw here, and then beginning of a phase similar to what we've seen here. And hopefully then we'll see another massive run up. Now, why do I think that Bitcoin and crypto in general is not dead? And why do I think that next couple of years are going to present some really great opportunities when it comes to cryptocurrencies? Well, first of all, there's still plenty of signs that there is a lot of interest in crypto and NFTs and everything Web3 related. Recently, we had Eminem and Snoop Dogg posting video and featuring Bored Apes. They both own a Bored Ape. If you're not familiar with it, it's the most valuable or one of the most valuable NFTs currently on the market. And it's one of the NFTs which is actually becoming more and more popular in pop culture. And things like this are really good for the NFT market overall because people who see it will be like, okay, what is it? What is Bored Ape? Then they will look it up, see the price of Bored Ape is probably somewhere like around $70,000 at the moment or something similar. Not many people can afford to buy one. But then they will start exploring, okay, what else is out there? What else I may potentially invest in this space? Why those celebrities are investing in those NFTs and why they are showing them off. And it just brings more and more awareness when it comes to NFTs and this whole sector. Then we have some other really good news when it comes to adoption of cryptocurrency. So for example, Breitling, luxury watchmaker, now accepts Bitcoin. And it's actually the third brand of luxury watchmakers that does it. So you can go to their store and you can pay with, or go online and pay with Bitcoin for your new watch. And sure, it's very niche market, but it just shows that acceptance for cryptocurrencies is growing more and more. It's no longer this thing that's just sort of hiding in some shadowy corners of the internet, but actually it's becoming more and more popular on the high street. So that's, again, something really, really good to see. And what's really important is that this actually only happened very recently in the last few days, when the crypto market overall has been going down for the last few months. So even though the market is not doing great, things like this are still happening. So you cannot even say that, oh, this is just because of hype and because everyone is buying Bitcoin right now. Not really. If you look at the stats on Google, actually not many people are interested in crypto NFTs at the moment, or not many new people are interested in it. Generally speaking, people lose interest when the prices of crypto are going down. So the fact that something like this is happening at this point in the market cycle is really, really good. Then we have another bit of, I think, really good news, although this is just a rumor. And basically there is a possibility that GTA 6, Grand Theft Auto 6, will reward you in cryptocurrency for completing in-game missions. So that would be quite interesting. The fact that it's just a rumor, of course, well, it may not happen. Or even if it does happen, well, it won't be until 2024 most likely when the game is likely to come out. But personally, I don't think it's massively relevant here whether this will actually happen or not. It's more important that sooner or later, one of those really big gaming titles will finally implement Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency in-game. And that will be absolutely huge for mass adoption. So in this particular case, it doesn't really matter whether it will be GTA 6 or some other title, or whether it will happen next year or in 2 or 3 years. The fact is that it's almost guaranteed, I would argue that it is guaranteed, that it will happen within the next few years. If we continue, then we have news about eBay acquiring NFT marketplace, which is quite interesting. Again, this is very recent, late June this year. Of course, everyone knows what eBay is. The fact that they're buying NFT marketplace, it's quite interesting. I guess it means that they will, in some shape or form, or they want to be in some shape or form involved in trading NFTs or providing platform for trading NFTs. So of course they see some potential in it. And again, we are in a deep, deep bear market. Volume of NFT sales is down around 98% from its all-time high just a few months ago. So the fact that something like this is happening at this point in the market cycle, again, it means that it's not about the hype. It's actually more about seeing potential in this in the future, near future. And here are a few other things which I think will be absolutely huge for adoption of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology overall, even though there is not strictly about cryptocurrencies specifically, but more about the metaverse and Web3. But if you start digging into it, you'll know that metaverse and Web3, they cannot essentially exist without blockchain technology, so cryptocurrencies and NFTs. So if we look at this article here by Min-Chi Kuo, if you're not familiar with him, he's an analyst who provides very accurate information about upcoming Apple products and accurate in terms of both features and release dates. And essentially, he's been saying in the recent weeks, couple of months maybe, that Apple is going to release AR, VR, or some sort of mixed reality headset in early 2023. So, well, in about half a year from now. And if you think about it, well, AR and VR is still very, very niche. But it's largely very niche because the devices are still quite clunky and essentially not massively user-friendly. If you ever use something like Oculus Quest, for example, you know that it's quite cool, but it's not exactly something you would use on a constant basis. It's still quite limiting. But then if you think about what Apple usually does when they release a new product or a new family of products, they're very rarely first to the market. But when they do release something, it tends to be extremely successful and really drive mass adoption. Think about what iPod did for MP3 players, what iPhone did for not only smartphones, but just mobile phones in general, or iPad for tablets. In some cases, especially in case of the iPhone, they completely changed how the mobile phone market looks like, or what we expect from a mobile phone. And I think when Apple launches AR, VR, or VR headset, it will do exactly the same thing for the whole AR, VR industry. I'm pretty sure it won't be perfect. I'm pretty sure it will require still a lot of improvements. Probably on like second or third version will be actually really, really cool. But I'm fairly certain that it will be an extremely successful product. And yet again, this will start driving the adoption of the idea of the metaverse, and with that, cryptocurrencies and NFTs. It's a really good article, and also there's a lot of information here, not just about Apple VR efforts, but also other companies, including Meta or China-based companies, Sony. Essentially, it's not just Apple working on it. Next year, it's supposed to be really, really important for the whole AR and VR industry. But I'm talking here mainly about Apple purely because of the impact they tend to have on the market, or the new products, the impact their new products have on the market. And then we have some other news, which I think are possibly even more important in this context. So first of all, it's this Metaverse Standards Forum. This only came out very recently, but what it is essentially a group of companies that got together to start creating a set of standards for the upcoming metaverse. So their vision, from what I gather, is that there will be just one metaverse, which I'm not sure if that's what will happen or not. I think a lot of people are expecting there will be multiple metaverses, kind of similar to how now we have, let's say, multiple social media platforms or multiple online games, and you will be able to jump between them more or less seamlessly. I think they're looking at something that probably will be just one metaverse, which I know it's quite a debatable concept, but nonetheless, if you look at the companies in question, we have Adobe here, we have Autodesk, we have a lot of really, really big companies. Sony was somewhere on this list, Epic Games. Essentially, they are not your usual companies involved in the crypto and NFT space, but much broader technology and gaming companies, and not necessarily the companies you normally associate with crypto or NFTs. And the fact that they are all showing interest in this space, we have Google here, we have IKEA, Intel, many others, that just shows how many companies, how many people in the tech industry think that this is the next big thing. And the way I see it is like, well, I can be wrong with my predictions, but I would argue that there is pretty much no chance that all of those people are wrong about metaverse being the next big thing. And if the metaverse is the next big thing, then by consequence, well, NFTs and cryptos must be also the next big thing. And then we have this really interesting report from Accenture. Accenture, in case you're not familiar with it, is a consulting company. So they provide advice to companies all over the world, often huge corporations and high net worth individuals, about an array of areas. It could be accounting, it could be tax, but also implementing new technologies. And they published this really interesting report in, I believe it was April this year, so only a couple of months ago, which is essentially their vision, technology vision, for the upcoming few years. And basically this whole report, close to 100 pages long, is all about the metaverse. And what's really interesting here is a quote which is on one of the first pages. Is this quote right here. The 98% of executives believe that advances in technology are becoming more reliable than economic, political, or social trends in informing their organization's long-term strategy. So in other words, if crypto, NFTs, or wider speaking, blockchain technology is one of the biggest technology advances in the recent months and upcoming months and years, well, by extension, that would mean that majority of executives, arguably pretty much all executives, think that this will have a huge impact on their company long-term strategy. And this is one of many reports. There were similar reports published by Deloitte and A16Z and many other organizations, which essentially are all focusing on how can you, either you as a person or you as an organization, as a business, prepare for the metaverse. And all of this has crypto and NFT intertwined in it in one way or another. So essentially, these are all the reasons why I think that, well, the next few years are going to be extremely important for cryptocurrencies. Because if you look at this report, for example, a lot of the ideas presented there, they refer to things that will happen over the next 5 to 10 years. If you look at what I mentioned just about Apple, AR and VR efforts, and many other companies like Sony, Microsoft, and a few others, well, a lot of it will be happening next year. Then there are Bitcoin halving cycles. Well, whenever that happens, or whenever it happened in the past, price of Bitcoin went up quite significantly straight after that. Essentially, it was one of the reasons why the price went up, one of the things that fueled the next bull run. And that's due to happen now in early 2024, I think around April, May 2024. So less than 2 years from now. So basically there are multiple reasons which, well, relating directly to the cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology that would imply that it should become really, really popular over the next couple of years. And then, well, hopefully also situation worldwide will improve in those couple of years. Hopefully the recession will be over, inflation should be under control. Hopefully the war in Ukraine will be over. So overall, I think that 2 years from now, crypto will be absolutely booming. It may not hit the new all-time high, but it will be certainly on its way there. So that's why I think that the next, essentially, 12 to 24 months are absolutely essential to get the knowledge and skill in this space and then implement it when it all actually happens. So that's it from me for today. Not much really talking about the usual crypto prices and stuff like that. I'll be talking about it more later this week, but it's more about the overall macroeconomic situation and why I think that it's worth getting interested in crypto. And if you're new to crypto or relatively new and you'd like to gain more knowledge, I'm launching my new course, Crypto Like a Pro. It will be really, really thorough. I'll put a link in the description. Please do check it out. And if you do have any questions, pop them in the comment section. And other than that, thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.